there guys, I'm going to do another Stephen King book review this evening, and this one is a book I read a few weeks ago. This is an Audible book again, so I'm really racking it up with the Stephen King Audible books at the moment. This one is Desperation, and it's read by Stephen King as well. 21 hours overall, so a little bit of a lengthy book. Um, this one is published in 1996, so this is no one which is more well known of Stephen King. This is kind of in his bit of a lull in his career, you could say, which is the mid 90s, early 2000s, where I think he focused a little bit on the Dark Tower book series. But I think this book, I mean, I picked it up because the premise is pretty good as well. And it's not one I'd actually ever heard of before, so I thought I'd give it a go. This one, Desperation, I was reasonably surprised with, and I did enjoy actually, albeit it's not in the what I would call like the elite sort of level of King books like It, The Stand, The Dead Zone, The Shining, Salem's Lot. Those kind of 4, 5, or 6 books which are absolutely sensational. They're classics. Everyone knows them. So what this book is, like I say, published in 1996. The premise of the book is that you have a town called Desperation. There's an old mining town, and you have a group of travellers who are passing through this sort of highway that cuts through the desert there, and the town of Desperation is there, and the sheriff of the town, which is a man by the name of Collie Intragian, is effectively stopping and kidnapping all the main players, the main characters in the book. Now, I will say there are some really memorable, strong characters that everyone knows from Stephen King's books, like Pennywise. Some really, really strong, memorable characters. But I will say one of the most understated and excellent characters I've ever seen was Collie Intragian, the fucking crazy sheriff who, as we're introduced initially in the book, there's nothing overly supernatural, first of all, that comes in, but it will come in later. Collie, you've got a couple of different types of travellers coming in. You've got a man and a wife, and they are hiding a little bit of weed in the car, kind of having a bit of a debate in the car, and then Collie pulls them over and effectively kidnaps them. They start seeing him develop a bit of a tick as he's actually verbally abusing them in the car and not acting professional like a police officer at all. And he's shouting the word tack, tack, tack. Now, tack is later on revealed to be the demon which originates in the mines, the Desperation mining, who was released from the pits of wherever they come from, and inhibits the body and can pass different forms, and at the time has taken the sort of the form of Collie Intragian, and in order to sort of keep itself going, it needs a new host, because the host body begins to disintegrate after a short while. And so it's a bit of a shame, really, because the Collie Intragian character is absolutely amazing. The guy is described as an absolute giant of a man, muscly, huge muscles, really physically imposing, has got that sort of statuesque American football type, like a wrestler type of body physique, and the way in which he's coming across is ultimately not professional, abusing people, using racial slurs, homophobic slurs, just being really, really over the line and abusing people. And he comes across one of the other characters, Johnny Marinville. Now, this Johnny Marinville is kind of like one of these characters from the 1960s, 1970s, who was a bit of a free-spirited celebrity artist performer who was author who was kind of in his sort of waning 50s years, where that edge of counterculture is being rubbed off slightly. He's trying to rediscover that sort of edge, and is doing a cross country um, motorbike ride, and his assistant is pretty much there trying to sort of make sure he doesn't break down and help him every step of the way. But Johnny Marinville, I mean, I did kind of imagine it to be Keanu Reeves, but Johnny Marinville is pulled over, and effectively Tack tries to sort of break down Johnny's ego, uh, his confidence and his forthrightness, and his sort of that sort of entitled celebrity attitude that he has initially in the book. And it's very, very subtly done, and really well done, even to the point where Tack, as Collie and Trajan, attempts to sort of solicit oral sex from Johnny Marinville in order to fully show the submissive and domineering and, you know, sort of breakdown of Johnny Marinville's ego before Tack. Um, so you've got other characters in the book as well. So you've got a family who is apprehended called the Carters. The Carters were in a motorhome travelling through the town of Desperation when Collie was pulled them over, and he is using a bit of an excuse each time, kind of like there's a shooter in the area, pull over, come with me, I'll make sure you're safe, let me take you to the police station and you can be there, we'll write it all up, you can ride this out and we'll all be safe. So most sort of good-natured people will go along with that. But the boy of the Carters, David Carter, is a little bit suspicious. And like I say, the tick of Tack is coming through as Collie is speaking, and doesn't like being questioned. And when the characters start to become a little bit more streetwise to Collie, then that's when things start going awry. So we have the first part of the book um, where uh, we have the husband and wife character who go into the police station. The husband is killed effectively by Collie and Trajan. Is shot for not actually listening and going along with him entirely. We later find out, shockingly, this is one of the most shocking things to happen, first of all, because it does kind of cut that atmosphere of, hang on a minute, is this guy a little bit just, has he got a screw loose, or is he actually kind of fucked up? Or is this more of a fucked up situation than maybe him just being a bit messed up? No, it becomes apparent when the wife or the girlfriend is taken to the jail, and she meets the Carver family. I think it's Carver family, actually. Sorry, Carver family, and they describe how Collie actually killed the young girl in the family. Um, so there's quite a lot. There's a nasty evil streak running through this from the very start, and I think the stakes are raised immediately, knowing that this thing is going to take them out to the China pits, as it's called, in order to perform the ritual where the broken down sort of host body, which Collie is inhibiting at the time, is then once that's broken down, and that this demon Tack will take on the form of the other captured people there, and then they themselves will obviously capture other people to perpetuate the life cycle of this demon. So it is a really, really good suspense book. It's quite an edge of your seat build up, actually, especially when all the main players are in the jail in different sort of lockups. They're able to. As one thing I forgot to mention is that the Tack demon character not only is within the host, but is also able to control familiars, as they would say, or animals, lower type beasts, in order to meet their ends. So, say for instance, there's times where The Tack character, uses wolves that roam through desperation to attack anybody trying to run away, or use eagles or buzzards to aerially see where people are moving as well through the town. So these familiars, are being used by Tack slash Collie as well early on in the book. But the main players in the book, the family, there's Johnny Marinville, the girlfriend of the couple, the Carver family managed to escape. But Ellen Carver, the mother, is taken away by Collie, and unfortunately, this is one thing I didn't like in the book. The one thing I wish you could have given this Collie and Trajan character a bit more time rather than changing. I know they had to show the change, but to change halfway through it to Ellen Carver, which didn't, the best in the world, a sort of a homemaker mother, doesn't really sound as threatening as like a 6'4", jacked, muscly, blood dripping down the seams, through the skin, things breaking down on the face, police officer. And I mean, my sort of opinion on this character was that if they did remake this as a TV series or a movie, I think that, as much as he's improved as an actor, I'd love to see like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, play Collie and Trajan, because I think that would be an ideal casting choice, to see somebody like that who is a bit of a trusting, wholesome, family type of person. I know he's done the Fast and Furious movies, but overall the guy is pretty much, sort of universally liked. He's a likable person, kind of like that Will Smith. But to see him in a role where he would literally be, fucking killing a little girl, shooting somebody point blank in the face, laughing about it, trying to make a celebrity with an ego give him oral sex just to break him down psychologically, as well as kidnapping people, using incredible racial and homophobic slurs as well, and threats. I think that'd be quite a fun role for somebody like him to and it would give more of a suspense and more of a seriousness, I think, if they did make another movie of it. But we hope they're going to make one. So overall, my sort of take from the book, we get away from the jail where the main players, the group, the kidnapped group, effectively sort of go on the run from Collie and these familiars, and hole up in like an abandoned theatre, abandoned cinema. There's a member of the group who she is actually controlled by Tack as well, and the book develops in the sense that it becomes a classic good versus evil sort of tale. This demon Tack trying to corrupt and suck the life out of the group, where you get a really pious young boy. So the boy, David Carter, speaks to God, is able to perform miracles, and provides leadership when all seems to be lost and there's no hope whatsoever. In this part of the book, he just comes out of nowhere. So very much that type of messianic Jesus character, inhibiting through this young boy, David Carver. I thought was quite interesting. So that feeds into the good versus evil part of the book, classic confrontation, and also the way in which it develops that this is not something not something that you can just run away from. Now that this Tack character is out, that there will be other people that will come along and will be taken and have their lives destroyed. So the only way that they can confront the Tack character and Collie, and then Ellen Carver later on, then Mum, who Tack inhibits, is to actually destroy the demon and to go at it, attack it, and to face up to the challenge, which is part of the story in which the celebrity author Johnny Marinville is really kind of one of these people who's like run away from challenges, has really stepped up to challenges or anything like that before, and whilst sort of like quitting will the going gets tough is within his his makeup and his his personality, I think that it becomes a very, very good redemption arc, in the sense that he's able to save the day eventually at the end, you know. But what happens is we get a little bit more information about the character, the demon as well, but how it came to this thing was able to be released from the China pits as well. Um, just the complete and utter sort of horrific, sort of hellish devastation that the demon and the familiars and Collie are able to pretty much within a matter of the pits opening is able to corrupt everything, to be killing all these several workers at the sort of the China pits, this sort of engineering factory, and the town itself as well, is quite startling as well. But we do sort of see the emergence of characters and relationships as well. Like Johnny Marinville's assistant, he picks up a young girl who is like a bit of a drifter, a hitchhiker. They hit it off and get a relationship going as well, which I thought was pretty good. But for me, my favourite character was Collie and Trajan is the best character in this book, albeit being the villain. And David Carver is a close second as well. You know, eventually, you know, they are able to subdue the demon, and to Johnny Marinville, being a selfish, narcissistic fuck as he is, sort of described earlier on in the book, is then able to provide and give the ultimate sacrifice, and Ralph Carver as well, the father of David, is able to give the ultimate sacrifice in order to destroy the China pits and trap the demon tack in forever, so to reseal them in. So that was quite interesting, and I just thought it was a very, very good book overall. You know, it's not one of the top tier Stephen King books by any stretch, but it's a thoroughly enjoyable book, and probably better than a lot of the stuff out there, even though this is a good 25 years old now. So yeah, I mean, I gave this book overall a rating of 3.5 stars out of 5, and I hope you enjoy it too. It is a bit of an investment, but I will say that the payoff, there is a bit of a payoff, and you know, even just to sort of absorb a really strong character and a really quality good character, you know, in maybe not so much the best Stephen King book was pretty good. So that was an excellent sort of find, Desperation. So yeah, I mean, I would advise to listen to this on Audible, because it's read by Stephen King as well. He can give you the emphasis and, you know, the full sort of depth of the book that he was looking to seek as well by giving the narration. So yeah, overall I hope you enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy these videos. We'll be doing some more pretty shortly, and yeah, if you'd like to give me a comment, let me know what you thought of the book. But as you can see on Amazon there, I'll put the link in the description where you can find the book. But you know, you should be able to get this pretty cheap now anyways, even if you do get a used copy. So yeah, invest in it, get it for 1 credit on Audible like I did, or if you want to buy the physical copy,